Okay guys, let's talk about the drill press. Again, this is a very easy machine to use, easy to understand. There is one really big danger with this machine though. And the danger is that you somehow get caught in this chuck as it's spinning. If you have loose clothing, if you have very long hair, really bad things can happen, okay? A teacher who'd been in my shop many years ago came from a southern part of our province. He told me that in his shop, a girl had got her hair caught. It took a clump, not just of hair, but of skin, ripped it right off her scalp. And she wasn't killed, but you know, a person could get killed. It could break your neck if you get caught in spinning machinery. If you get caught on the machine, it doesn't matter how you scream or how much pain, it doesn't stop. It's a machine, right? So do not get caught. Loose clothing is a hazard, long hair is a hazard around a machine. And since this part is close to where your head is, after all, you're going to be like this, operating it. Just make sure that you don't have any long hair as you're using this machine. Your hair must be tied back. So let's just look for a moment how we use the machine. The most common bit that we use looks like this, although we often used a Forstner bit. For making bigger holes in wood, we use a Forstner bit. This one can drill into metal, but if it'll drill into metal, it'll certainly drill into wood as well. So you can put the bit into the chuck by hand, but it's not tight enough. It would slip while you're trying to drill a hole. So you can lock it in place using a chuck key, okay? Never leave the chuck key in the chuck. This one's so big, I don't think anyone would do that. But if you ever left a chuck key in the chuck and somebody didn't notice it and came to use the machine and turn it on, it could come flying out. 46 years, I've seen it happen once, okay? It's not likely. Just don't leave the chuck key. The bigger problem with the chuck key is you can't find it often. There's 3 drill presses in this room. There's about 5 chuck keys, but they never seem to be where you are when you want them. Just look at the various drill presses, look on the benches, and there's a place, surprisingly, where they often are hiding. There's a place where you can attach the chuck key to the side of the drill press. Look up there too. Okay, so let's just drill a hole with it. When you're going to drill a hole, you have to first turn the machine on. Now, in this room, there's a safety switch. If the main power supply has been turned off, you have to push a little power button here before you turn it on. So that's ready to go. I'm just going to drill a hole. It's very simple. Now, what did I do as I was drilling that hole to make things a little safer? I held it securely. I have a piece of strap underneath it so your bit doesn't make holes in the table. But there's something else about where I drilled the hole. Does anybody know? If you were drilling a hole in a long piece of wood, you wouldn't hold it like this, because if something jammed, it would spin out towards you, right? So you always keep the long part to your left. Then if it jams, it spins and hits the column at the back of the drill press. So that's a basic rule. Keep long pieces to your left. Next. Oh no, before I talk about drilling metal, I've got to talk briefly about the stopper. Now, there are times when you want to drill a hole that doesn't go all of the way through the piece of wood, okay? If you want to stop before you go all the way through, you could lower the table so that just when the drill bit gets as low as possible, it'll stop before it touches the table. But on this machine, there's a little ring up here. In fact, there's 2 of them. You can set this stopper ring so that it'll stop just when you get to the depth that you want, okay? Again, that's not a safety issue, but that's just something that's on most drill presses. Stopper rings up here. Safety, I have to say a few words about drilling metal. Every time you drill a hole in a piece of metal, as the bit breaks through the bottom of the metal, it tends to jam. It wants to cause the piece of metal to spin. Therefore, metal should be in a vise. Don't hold it in your bare hand. If it's a piece of sheet metal, you would clamp it to the table. Well, in our wood shop, we very seldom have to drill metal. I just say that to you because it's common knowledge that you should have if you're going to be using a drill press. And I think that's about it. We're finished talking about the drill press.